The wind howls across the ancient savanna, bending tall grasses that sway like waves in a restless sea. Shadows ripple as a small band of Australopithecus moves with urgency, their bare feet pressing into the damp earth near a winding river. Women carry broad leaves folded into cups dripping with precious water. Children cling to their mothers, eyes wide with wonder and fear, while the men, sinewy and tense, brandish sharpened stone flakes. Ahead of them, looming like relics from another world, are the armored titans of this age, enormous turtles, their shells thick as fortress walls, their heavy bodies dragging across the mud. These creatures are not mere background to the human's journey. They are obstacles, resources, and threats, all bound into one massive presence. What if humanity's fragile beginnings had to unfold in the shadow of such armored giants? Could these ancestors carve survival in a land where prey and predator are shielded by living fortresses? The tribe creeps closer to the river's edge, for water means life. But the armored turtles command the banks like guardians. Their massive jaws crush reeds and bones alike, a reminder of the danger hidden beneath their lumbering grace. The Australopithecus know they cannot fight such beasts head-on. Instead, they adapt with patience, using their cunning. One elder signals with a hand directing the younger hunters to circle wide through the tall grasses. They must approach from the rear, where the giants move more slowly, distracted by the feast of vegetation. The plan is not to kill no tool they wield can pierce such armor, but to steal fish and trapped crabs caught in the shallows, churned by the turtle's weight. Survival here means outthinking creatures that seem invulnerable, but danger multiplies in the savanna. The scent of the turtles draws other predators. From the cover of the scrubland, a pack of saber-toothed cats stalks, their golden eyes fixed not on the armored giants, but on the smaller, weaker bipeds daring to scavenge nearby. The Australopithecus sense the shift in the wind, the tension in the air. A child cries, and instantly the band stiffens. Fear is communicated in silence, in wide eyes and clenched jaws. The decision must be swift: abandon the food or risk the confrontation. Hunger gnaws at their stomachs, yet death prowls in the grass. With a sudden crash, the first saber-tooth lunges, scattering the tribe. Stones fly from slings, crude but desperate weapons. The cats are wary of the armored turtles, knowing even their fangs cannot pierce such shells. This chaotic standoff becomes the tribe's only chance. They dive toward the river, splashing into the water churned by the titanic reptiles. The turtles hiss and thrash, their massive limbs stirring mud into clouds. The predators hesitate, unwilling to challenge both beasts and mend each other. In that fragile pause, the tribe seizes fish, flung up by the turmoil, clutching them to their chests as they retreat. Soaked, trembling, but alive. The band regroups at the river's edge, their breaths sharp in the night air. They huddle around their small catch-raw sustenance, pulled from the jaws of catastrophe. Yet their trials are not over. The storm clouds gathering in the horizon promise another test lightning flood, and the cold fear of being trapped between sky and earth. In this land of armored giants, every step of survival is carved in peril and chance, each moment a battle between fragility and adaptation. The storm breaks with sudden violence, ripping the sky apart in flashes of white fire. Thunder crashes so loudly that even the armored turtles lurch in surprise, their massive shells glistening as rain pours down in sheets. The Australopithecus scramble for cover, dragging the children and their hard-won fish up the slippery banks. Their small bodies move with frantic purpose, gripping roots and jagged rocks. As the river swells beneath them, water rises fast, turning the once shallow ford into a torrent. The tribe knows that to remain in the open is to invite death not only from drowning, but from predators driven closer by the chaos of the storm. A rocky overhang provides a refuge, but it is narrow, cramped, and already half-flooded. The band squeezes inside, pressing against one another for warmth. Lightning illuminates their faces, fear, determination, exhaustion etched into every movement. In the distance, the massive turtles pull themselves higher onto land, their weight shaking the ground. For the tribe, this is both blessing and curse. The reptile's presence deters prowling cats. But their bulk blocks escape routes should the waters rise too high. The Australopithecus can only wait, pressed into the stone as rain lashes down like whips. When dawn finally breaks, it reveals devastation. The savanna is scarred with new channels of water trees, stripped and broken, and the ground littered with debris. Yet life never pauses. The tribe must move again, for the storm has destroyed their temporary haven. They emerge from the rock shelter, limbs stiff and eyes watchful, carrying their fish remains tied in leaves. The youngest stumble shivering, but the group cannot afford weakness. Ahead lies higher ground, but also another danger, the open plain, where rival bands of Australopithecus often clash for territory. By midday, smoke rises on the horizon, a thin, dark column curling upward. Fire. The band halts, wary. Fire means other humans. And in this age, not all encounters are allies. Slowly, with low crouches and eyes fixed, they advance. Another group emerges in the distance, their forms hunched but strong, carrying clubs of hardened wood. They too bear the scars of survival bites, scratches, and the gaunt look of hunger. For a moment, the two tribes face one another in silence, tension thick as stone. The armored turtles graze in the background, massive silhouettes that seem indifferent to the drama unfolding among the small, fragile primates at their feet. Conflict brews not in words, but in gestures. One rival male strikes the ground with his club, sending a clear message, keep away. But hunger has made the first tribe desperate. They raise their fish bundles high, offering trade. A tense standoff lingers, broken only when a child from the rival group steps forward, eyes wide with curiosity, not fear. In that fragile instant, the hardened adults hesitate, caught between aggression and recognition. The smell of roasted roots drifts from their camp food that could mean survival for both groups. The decision hangs in the balance, a delicate fulcrum between violence and alliance. And all the while, the armored turtles continue their slow march toward the river's edge. Oblivious titans whose presence reminds both tribes of a truth older than conflict: survival. Here belongs not to the strongest, but to those who adapt, cooperate, and seize opportunity before it vanishes. The standoff breaks when the storm-tossed earth trembles again, not from thunder, but from the armored turtles pushing back toward the water. Their colossal shells grind against rock, their sheer size forcing both tribes to scatter aside or be crushed. In that chaotic moment, hostility dissolves into necessity. The two bands of Australopithecus retreat together, pressed shoulder to shoulder, herding children and clutching food. Their survival bound by the slow, relentless advance of creatures neither side can master. What began as a potential battle between humans is swallowed by the presence of nature's armored giants. As the reptiles slide into the swollen river, the current surges around their massive bodies, creating eddies that trap fish in shallow pools. Both tribes rush forward, no longer enemies but partners, plunging hands into muddy water, scooping silver bodies that writhe and gleam. The air fills with sharp cries of triumph, gestures of gratitude, laughter bubbling through exhaustion. Hunger softens fear. Survival forges alliance. Fire is shared, fish roasted on sticks, the oily smoke curling upward into the gray sky. The scent draws the two groups closer until their circles merge warmth, radiating not only from flame, but from newfound solidarity. Children play in the mud near the embers, chasing one another with the carefree resilience of youth. Elders sit together, passing roots and herbs, showing scars and remedies, exchanging wisdom without words. The armored turtles vanish downstream, their presence lingering only in the reshaped earth and the bounty left behind. For the Australopithecus, these moments become more than survival. They become myth. In the rhythm of storms, in the shadow of titans, humanity learns that strength lies not in armor or fangs, but in unity, in the fragile yet unbreakable bond of community. Night falls calm and clear, stars scattered like embers across the heavens. Around the shared fire, the tribe finds healing. Fear gives way to laughter, suspicion to trust. Tomorrow will bring new perils, predators, hunger storms, but tonight they endure together. In the legend of armored turtles and trembling skies, the first humans carve a story that echoes through time that survival is never the triumph of one, but the legacy of many.